In the following activities, we are going to create and play some music using different sounds, drawing on the observations that we made on our walk. In this activity, we will also look at the different sounds that are available to us and do some really nice, easy, straightforward exercises to start experimenting and improvising with these sounds. Now we're going to explore the different sounds that we have available to us to play with. So that's one option, simply using our bodies and voices to create sound. Second option is if you have an instrument in your house, you can use that. So for example, I've got my flute. I've also got a few pieces of percussion. So if you have an instrument in your house and you have access to it and you want to use it, that's fine. If you don't have an instrument and you don't feel like using your body or your voice, there's loads of different sounds that you can create simply by using the objects in your house. I'll just give you a few examples. So tapping the actual lampshade itself, that's just using my hand. I could use other objects like a pen. I have a pot of pistachio nut shells. I can just jingle that around. I've got a pot here of paper clips. Shake it. Really just hitting things makes sounds. A couple of pens together. Different objects. Plant pot. Lots of sounds that you can make with a simple piece of paper. Slowly waving it around. Yep. I'm sure that you can think of lots. Decide what sound source you want to go with, so either using your body and your voice, instrument if you have one, or random objects around the house. Think about which one you want to go with for our next activities. If you're going to use an instrument or some sounds around the house, you might want to pause the video now and go and get yourself set up. All I want you to do is just make as much noise as you possibly can for 10 seconds. So for example, I'm going to go with my lamp here. For 10 seconds I'm just going to make as much noise as I possibly can. Okay, now we're going to do another 10 seconds of your sound source, but this time being as quiet as you possibly can. Pause this video, off you go. Okay, well done. So we're going to continue with our noise making, but this time I want to think about being really fast. So for example, don't think about it too much, just 10 seconds of very fast noise. Pause your video, off you go. So now I'm going to do the opposite. So 10 seconds of really slow playing on your sound source for 10 seconds. Pause the video, off you go. Well done. So now we're going to do 10 seconds of making sounds, but this time we're going to mix things up. So in those 10 seconds, think about playing really loudly and then going really quiet. Think about playing really fast and also really slow. So for example, pause the video, off you go. Now that you've had a go at mixing those things up a little bit, you can very easily change between high notes and low notes. So we're going to do 10 seconds of making sound and seeing if you can switch between high and low pitches. Pause the video, 10 seconds, off you go. So now we're going to do a little bit of a longer play. This time it's going to last for 30 seconds. So you might want to use a phone or a watch to time yourself. And in the 30 seconds, using your sound source, you're just making sound, just going with it, and think about mixing all those different ideas up. Different volumes, so being loud and quiet, and experimenting with those different pitches. Pause the video, 30 seconds, off you go. So this time, we are going to do another 30 seconds of just playing. Again, thinking about all the different elements, so thinking about the different pitches, tempos, and dynamics. But this time we're going to add 3 different areas of silence. Do an example on my flute. Pause this video, 30 seconds, off you go. We're going to have a go at doing this little exercise that is really, really useful to use when improvising, so just making music up as you go along. Using your sound source is we're going to come up with a really, really, really short pattern, so something as short as this. Once you've decided what your short pattern is, be using an instrument or your voice, so you can just keep it to one pitch, or you can change the pitch if you want to. So I was using my voice, da da da. So just spend a few moments with your pattern and just repeating it over and over again with a little bit of space in between. So for example, so there I have my pattern, and I can repeat it over and over again. So pause the video and just spend literally 30 seconds experimenting with that. So once you've got your pattern, what we're going to do is we're going to look at how we can develop this pattern. Every time we repeat this pattern, we're going to simply add something onto it. So for example, literally no more than 30 seconds, pause the video, off you go. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do is a longer improvisation on any sound source you want to use. Think about those different elements that we have just used. So you can have those ideas going on. You might like one in particular and choose just to use that, or just don't think about any of that and just simply play. Pause your video, 45 seconds, off you go. So that takes us to the end of activity number 2. Activity number 3 will be released at this if you're following this live time schedule. See you then.